You know, guys, I've run into a lot of French people over here in Europe. A lot of French people. And guess what? They've been lovely. Every single person has been lovely. Just making me eat a shit sandwich.
So, Robbie, running into nice French people?
Yes. Yeah, I'm here in London. And man, am I being made to eat my words. We're all here.
Just excited to talk to each other.
The thing I noticed about we're all here.
Just excited to talk to each other.
The thing I noticed about the cameras is that because they're on this side, that you always you kind of have a great shot.
No matter what.
Yeah, because you're looking left, you're looking right. We gotta.
Oh, Megan!
Megan,
oh my God!
We can't do things like that. We can't do things like
Let's
that.
get a camera.
Don't get
Let's get a
electrocuted.
camera on it.
Megan has, for the listener at home, she has dropped a liquidy thing. It was. Did it
There's a glass
shatter? Did
bottle
it
that's
break?
shattered.
She has shattered a glass bottle, but she's
Wow.
willing to work through it.
This is Meg's worst nightmare.
Yeah.
You guys, this is
now
great
the center
stuff. Are
of
we rolling?
attention.
Are we
Yeah,
rolling?
we're
This is
rolling,
all. This is all good stuff.
Oh, wow.
Meg, did you want to talk a little bit about the broke? No.
I'm just gonna check to make sure I turn on the fucking camera.
Oh,
There, I
wow,
see the little
we're
red
starting
dot on the
coming in hot.
cameras. Yeah, there's cameras now. We're now filming this podcast.
Meg, don't cut that. Don't.
Rob, I have a question for you. Did you come straight from the set of AP Bio, and are you playing Jack now? Because you're dressed in my wardrobe on the show.
What show is this?
AP.
Is it still on?
Are you still doing that?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, I didn't know. That.
Cool. No, honestly, I
No,
put
it got
this on.
canceled. It got canceled.
It got canceled.
I didn't even tell you guys that.
No.
Officially canceled? I thought you were done. I thought you said we're going to do 3 and then that was it.
No. Well, we did 4. I love it. Charlie doesn't even know how many seasons we did.
Well, you know, seasons are,
Yeah.
they all blend together.
Yeah.
now.
Charlie produces a show that we're doing that I don't know that he knows how many seasons we've done.
That's not true. That's not true. I know, and I have critiques, but you won't listen to them. So good luck. Good luck.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
That's the kind of thing
Just,
that'll get.
you know,
That's
just-
the kind of thing that'll get you fired up.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
That kind of
telling
shit.
me that I don't care about the thing that I'm producing. Yeah, that gets under my skin.
Yeah, I can tell by his face.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
like it. I don't like it.
Why?
Yeah.
Because you're attempting to discredit my connection to the show.
Not really. I'm
Yes, you
just
are.
giving
That's
you.
what
I'm
you're
just
doing.
giving you bullshit.
No. There's something
He's
under it. There's something. There's,
No, there really isn't.
Glenn?
There
really isn't.
There really isn't.
No, I
don't
know that
think-
there isn't.
It's
the
just
same
something
way
you're
that I-
sensitive to for whatever reason.
The same way
you
that
know?
I'm joking about Glenn, not knowing Glenn's show, even though I actually put this on this morning and thought, oh, this is the way that.
Well, I'm
Glenn's
not
show is.
sensitive.
Yeah.
I'm not. If you said I didn't know your show, that's fine because I have nothing to do with your show.
Yeah.
Right.
I minimally have something to do with your show. I
You
as much-
created the show.
I have as much to do with your show as you want me to do, which seems like not too much, which I appreciate.
Yeah, that was the original deal.
That
We
was the
wrote it
deal.
together
That
with
was the
Megan,
deal.
and then
Yeah.
and then you.
You kids are on your own.
That's fine.
Fine. You're doing great.
Thank you.
I love the show.
Thanks,
He's
bud.
Fantastic.
he's offering his services, but he doesn't want you to take it up on it. Him up on it.
I'm
Does that make
well
sense?
aware of that.
You nailed it.
There
You nailed
have been
it.
a couple of times where I'm like, oh, do you want to come in the room? And then he's like, yeah, we can. I'd love that. We can work it out. But then I'm like, he doesn't really want to. He's saying that he does, which is really nice.
Yeah. He
But
wants to play
doesn't want-
golf.
Yeah, and he should be able to. He's earned that.
No, I do. I like the couple times you've been like, hey, you want to work on an episode? I've been psyched to do that.
Yeah.
And I would come do some acting or whatever. That'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So
Well, look, guys,
I dig the show.
The thing is that nobody's
talking about
listening.
that show, though.
Exactly.
That's-
Nobody
that's
cares
not
about
about-
AP Bio, guys. Nobody cares about Mythic Quest. They
Yeah.
care about It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
I don't know about that.
You guys seen that Beatles documentary?
Yeah.
It's fucking great.
Yes.
Don't get me started.
You don't.
Yeah, Glenn.
What's your deal?
Glenn.
What's your deal?
Don't get me started.
This is amazing.
This
I
is
wanna
gonna
hear
get,
it.
this is
Let's
gonna
get
get me
him
in
started.
trouble.
This is bullshit. Go
Glenn
ahead.
hates
What do
the
you got?
Beatles.
Oh,
He
get the
hates the
fuck out of
Beatles.
here.
No, that's not totally accurate. What I hate is that the Beatles seem to be given the credit for having, like, I don't know, invented music or something. Like, can we just stop it with the Beatles? That's my thing, right?
Yeah, no,
There was so much musical innovation happening at the time that the Beatles were out. Okay, were they part of that? Yeah, they were a huge part of it. Maybe even the biggest part of it. But did they invent rock and roll? Was anyone else from the '60s worthy of the kind of attention that the Beatles get? It's just like, can we just shut the fuck up about the Beatles? God damn it.
So you're not annoyed at the Beatles. You're annoyed at people's love of the Beatles.
I'm annoyed at the amount of times that the Beatles, like, I'm annoyed at how, like, the amount of shit out there is to celebrate the Beatles, but not to celebrate all the other bands that were doing cool shit at the time. That's what annoys me.
Okay.
Yes.
The documentary is amazing.
Yeah.
It's great because you really just see like that the moment where Paul picks up the guitar and he's trying to figure out songs like Chugga Chugga Chugga. He's like, Jojo wasn't much.
You see the creative process that like really laid bare.
This is a stupid thing to compare it to, but it really made me appreciate our process and what we get to do, and just, you know, the times that we've just been in a room stuck and then you're just bouncing ideas and seeing the creative process, seeing how something comes from seemingly nowhere and then goes through someone and then gets shaped by someone else is exciting to watch. So whether you like the Beatles or not,
Yeah.
Whether you like the Beatles or not, what you have to
creative
accept is that
process.
Charlie feels, and I agree, that we are the Beatles of
TV.
basic cable late night.
Well,
television.
no. I would say that we're the Kinks, right?
Oh,
we were
shut up.
we were around
The
for
Kinks?
we were because they made music for like forever. The Beatles made music for like 6 years.
okay,
like 6 years, and then we're like, we're out.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
right.
And the
Kinks
Kinks just kept going and going
And they
and
were
going and
always
going and going.
like pretty cool, and
Yeah,
people
yeah,
listened
never
to them, but
got
they were
enough
like
credit.
never really got it.
Yeah, exactly. Like
All right,
did they
all
have
right.
some hit songs? Yeah, they had a bunch of hit songs. They had great hit songs. By
Yeah.
the way, I'm a big Kinks fan. I
Yeah.
love the Kinks. But
But they
also
never hit like the mainstream.
Not. I mean, they did. They did.
With a
Especially
couple
like
songs,
in the.
but people don't. People recognize the songs, but if you ask them who are the Kinks, they would have no idea.
Yes, and
I can't name the Kinks. I can name the Beatles.
which Beatle would you do you think you are then?
Definitely Paul.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, which
See that?
Kink are you?
Jerry Garcia.
Yeah. See there.
Oh, yeah. That's the problem with the Kinks.
Oof.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Then which
Bob Weir.
If you're Paul, which Beatle am I? Which Beatle do you think I am?
I think you're a little bit of Paul. I think you're Paul too. I think you're Paul.
If you guys call me Ringo, I swear to fucking God. I swear to
I
God.
think we all
George
have
Harrison.
Yeah, George was.
maybe John. I mean,
You're definitely
interesting.
Harrison, like
He's
you're
he was about to call
damn
me John
good.
Lennon.
You could.
He was about to give me John Lennon.
well, in terms of the
I know,
relationships with
he
with each
was.
other.
He was.
I
and you
know
cut
you
him
got
off.
a little John Lennon too. You got a little
Okay.
John Lennon.
I don't know.
But you
because
got
I
that
don't.
George thing where you could go and write an amazing song on your own, and then you don't get the credit for that. But then you're like, you can do it, man.
But you see,
man.
like Paul is like a maniac, like constantly like pushing things forward and saying, "Guys, like let's go."
That's
but I
you.
think, and that's me. But I feel like that's you too.
Yeah, it is. That's true. Yeah. I don't.
Okay,
I don't
so
really,
we're all a little bit of Paul McCartney,
Yeah,
a little bit
bit.
of John Lennon,
Little bit.
some George Harrison,
Yeah.
and nobody's Ringo. Ringo's fucking great, by the way.
No,
he?
yeah, we're all three egomaniacs, right?
Right.
Who think we're the Beatles?
Except the difference is that we're in our 40s, and the Beatles broke up when they were 26.
Yeah,
right,
but they looked like they were in their 40s.
Yeah, they did.
They have baby faces, but they also look ancient, the way
Yeah,
people used to.
That's interesting. I do agree with you though, Charlie. I've always, and I've talked to you guys about this. Like I've always felt like our show, like I've always felt thought of us almost more as a band than people who are making a TV show, because you know there's not many people out there that and there, you know, there's a handful for sure, but like there very few people are actually the writers on the show who are also the actors, like who make the show, write the show, produce the show, and act on the show. You know what I mean? In the same way that a band writes their music and then goes and performs it.
Well, that was the interesting thing to me too, is like how sort of generous they are with each other in that where, you know, you sort of hear these stories about, oh, they were fighting and stuff, but not really, you know. It was like Paul would have an idea and they would like hear it out, and then John would want to do thing, or George got a little testy about something, but then they, you know, they're like, all right, let's do it your way. And
Yeah.
Oh, so I am George. You said he got testy. I see. I don't know there, but that
No, we
sounds
all
like
get
sounds like
testy.
me.
I'm feeling chippy this morning.
You
I'm feeling a
are.
little
What's
chippy.
going
Yeah,
on?
you seem
I
chippy.
got like 4 hours of sleep.
Oh.
Well, are we going to talk about Sunny, or are we going to talk about how we're the Beatles?
I just pulled up my notes.
I think the Beatles conversation is a hair more interesting, but yes, we can segue into Sunny.
Yeah, and listen, then we can segue back into the Beatles. I'm down with that. Or we can talk about other bands, that aren't the fucking Beatles.
This episode did not make me feel like we were the Beatles.
no, didn't hold up for me.
Well, there
were moments.
Yes, there's a lot of really, really funny moments. So there are like some high highs. Yeah. And then there's a couple kind of clunky lows, I feel like.
There were some things, though, that we established in this episode. Like, I believe this is the first reference, am I wrong about this, to Charlie killing rats? Oh. He comes into the beginning, he's like, I just killed about how many ever rats in the basement, and I'm like, good work.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that was the first reference to you being the guy who's like, killing rats in the
This
basement.
show is so old, and we did that so long ago that there were still many places, bars, that allowed smoking indoors.
Yes,
Right.
I picked up on that right away.
It was around that change where they were making
There was
laws.
a debate
There
in
was
this
even
episode about
debate
whether or not you could smoke inside. And
Yes.
That's
I'm sure
hard
you
to
can
believe.
still smoke inside some places. Like
casinos and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
But like your average pub in the U.S., I don't
Nowhere
know.
in the United States now? Is that gone everywhere now? I think it is, because I haven't been
it's
to a bar in
it's
any...
a state by state thing, so I have to think that maybe there's some states that
Can
just
you?
don't give
But
a
you
fuck.
can also like make that a rule of whatever establishment you own.
I believe
right?
it- yeah, I believe
like
so.
regardless.
Yeah.
yeah, of course, that'd be crazy.
Guys, you remember where that rat thing was coming from?
No.
'Cause I had so many rats in my house.
Oh yeah,
they were getting in my house.
You had real rats.
I was,
Yes, and you had a rat
Yeah,
terrier
I
had
as
a-
a dog.
Yeah, and the
Your
rat
dog-
terrier would just be like
Yeah.
sleeping, and the rat would like run over its head.
You had to bat. I remember very distinctly you having to bat.
I do remember that.
But you had a good system, and then I've adopted that system, and I just used it last weekend when my cat had a mouse that was like still alive, and he was like playing with it because he's a savage.
Yeah.
And I used the way that you taught me how to kill it.
Oh, yeah. How did you
man,
dispense?
I don't remember. I was pretty ruthless in the day, and it haunts me.
Yeah.
You could still hear their
It's like
screams.
put it in a bag.
You put it
or
in the
something.
bag.
Yeah.
You put it in the bag.
Man.
No, it's a good way to go.
Look, let me tell you something.
quick.
Though. Okay.
Yeah. You put it in a bag and you smash the fucking bag.
There are humane traps you can catch
Because it's fast.
You can catch these things and you can bring them way out to the woods or whatever. But during the pandemic, I had 2 mice get in my house and they were like shitting everywhere and wreaking havoc. And I caught these fuckers in a glue trap, and I was like, I can't do it. I can't kill the mouse. So I got olive oil. I got the thing out of the trap, right? I got all the glue out of its fur, and I released it in my yard. I was like, I felt better about that. I'm like, all right, I'm sorry, little mouse.
And then a hawk just immediately came down and
well, I'll
fucking
tell you what,
gobbled them up.
the fuckers came back. They came back
Now
in
they
the
gotta
house.
die. Now they gotta die.
I gotta die. Shut up,
No,
everyone. Shut up.
I didn't kill
guys,
him.
this
No,
episode
wait.
brought to you
Don't
by
turn me into a
PETA.
murderer.
This episode is brought to you by PETA. Giving animals a chance all over the world and making you feel bad about your choices regarding animals.
Hey, I'm PETA, and I bash rats. PETA Rat Basher.
Oh, PETA.
PETA.
PETA,
From
that's
Boston.
it. That's it, yeah.
So then these fuckers come back in the house, and I get a humane trap. I'm like, all right, I catch them in a humane trap. I catch them. I drive them all the way to. I read that you have to take them like 20 miles from your house, otherwise they. So I find a nice trash dumpster in Griffith Park that I'm like, this is a good place for you to live.
Yeah.
And I let them out there.
Oh, good for you. Hey, you know, there are actually, this is crazy. Somebody told me that they were having a rat problem at their house. It was a friend of ours, and they said that they found a rat sanctuary. Okay, so there are places you can get. The thing that I find so funny about it, so what they do is they take in rats, right? Like in the way that that other organizations would maybe take in a stray cat or a stray dog. They take in stray rats, right, from people who have trapped them and don't want to kill them, I guess. And then they try to, they have a certain email list or whatever, and they contact people who would like to adopt these rats.
Great.
And the thing that I think is so funny about that is I can almost guarantee you that 99% of the people that are adopting them are feeding them to other animals.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just like nobody's like, there aren't enough people out there that are like, I would like to have a rat as a pet. No, they're like feeding it to their boa
snakes.
constrictor.
But at least there's
snakes.
you're reinstituting the natural order of things. Which
So
is,
that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, and in my case, what I'm talking about, my cat is a legit savage and will bring the mice in and torture it.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it's
no,
like,
that's-
I
it's
too
dead,
now have a
it's
stray
dying.
cat to keep all manner of small creatures from my home.
And so he's the mouse is already dying, and the cat's like, I'm gonna keep this thing alive so I can fuck with it. And so that's why I bashed him.
Do you think if they could, the organization PETA would like have a go at your cat and come down on your cat and make your cat feel bad about what it does to these mice? You know what I'm saying?
No.
It's torturing an animal.
Yeah, but it's another animal who doesn't have the brain capacity to understand what it's just doing what a cat does.
I think it knows exactly what it's doing, because the thing is like the spirit of a witch is living inside that cat. You know that, right?
Yeah.
You know that's how it works,
he
right?
is
Witches,
yeah.
they die, they shed their bodies, and then they go into cats, and then you rescue them, and they torture animals. So really, it'd be PETA, sort of
It's really coming down on
admonishing
witches,
a witch.
though.
Yeah. By the way, I don't mean to put down all witches. I think there are probably a lot of witches out there that are doing good things. I just don't know what they are.
Well, you got to educate yourself.
Well,
Do
we
the
don't.
work.
Not.
First of all, there are no witches out there. Don't go calling yourself a witch until you get your ass on a broom and fly across the sky.
Right.
Bullshit.
You're not a witch.
You're not
Right.
a witch. You're not a witch. You could be into witch shit.
Right.
That's cool.
You could be witchy.
You could be into witch culture.
Yeah.
You can identify as a witch, which in these days is about as close as you can get.
Is it still appropriate to call a male witch a warlock, or is that a separate thing?
No. I think you're right. I think it is. I think it's a warlock.
So a witch is very specifically only women.
Yeah, that's right. Well, you could be a
Megan,
witch.
you speak for all women. Is that accurate?
You could be a witch doctor, in which case you could be a man or a woman. Because doctors are men and women. Why did you give me that look? Men and women and all people can be doctors. So witch doctor, you wouldn't call it a warlock doctor, although that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Warlocker?
Oh, warlocker. We just created a new show, guys. Warlocker. You know what I mean? He's like he's
time traveling medicine man.
Medicine.
Yeah.
person.
Sorry, medicine. Well, no, we said specifically that
It's a warlocker.
If you add war to it, it's male.
Fair.
Let me consult my notes, guys.
All right.
Some
Well,
people
so a shout out to Lucas Papalius. Who was
he's great.
He's so good in the episode.
he's great.
Yeah,
You still keep in touch with that guy?
Minimally, but I miss him. I should reach out to him. The guy with the long hair who's protesting
Yeah.
was an actor pal of mine from New York,
Yeah.
and a very talented guy.
It was always fun to.
He still lived in New York at the time, so it was easy for him to make the trip into Philly.
Right. It was always fun to hire our friends because, first of all, a lot of our friends are super talented, but it's also that there's that dynamic that you guys have, and that scene that like you just wouldn't get necessarily with a regular guest, with a stranger guest star, like. You know what I mean? Like he's really playing with you because he knows your sense of humor, he knows your style, and he knows he can play.
Yeah.
Bringing it back to the warlock conversation, Charlie may dabble in the dark arts because I believe
Charlie Day or Charlie Kelly?
Charlie Day.
Why do you think that?
This man.
Because you're the only person consistently through season that doesn't change the way you look. Exactly the same.
Have you been?
You look very different, Glenn. Caitlin looks very different. I look different. I think Danny looks different. You
That's
look
just
the same.
That's just genetics.
Well, see,
man.
he might not be dabbling himself, but
I could have a good witch on my side.
That's what I'm
Who's going
saying.
to stop
That-
their witchy spell because they heard me denounce witches? I take it back. Thank you for your witchery.
Thank you, witch.
And thank you for this fountain of youth. That
yeah, absolutely.
I don't agree. I look much younger in those episodes.
Well, looking at you now, but in my mind, you seem. I mean, but yeah, dude, that was 16 years ago. You don't look dramatically different.
No, you don't look dramatically different. It's kind of weird.
I haven't done dramatic things to myself, Like I haven't
true.
gained a dramatic amount of weight.
Starved yourself,
Or
silly for years.
yeah, I don't have the discipline.
Yeah. Gotta have discipline to starve yourself, guys. It's not easy. It hurts.
Yeah,
Yeah,
So
I
why do you
bet.
wanna
I
do
bet
it?
because your body's dying.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, can you? Okay, so Charlie, tell everybody the story behind the rock, flag, and eagle song that became so iconic.
I feel like it's a riff that like Hornsby and I had, where
Right.
Hornsby and I would joke about truck commercials, and that they at that time, I don't know if they're still doing this. It seemed like they were just pumping out the most
They were trying to
stereotypical American things. So it was like eagles and rocks, and it was just like
flags
flags
flying everywhere.
They're
and
still doing that.
Bald
They're still
eagles.
doing that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think the F-150 is still the highest selling vehicle in the United States of America. I think. Megan, you want to verify that for me?
Megan.
I believe that's right. Or maybe it's the highest selling truck, but I think it is the highest selling vehicle.
Yeah.
So we used to joke around about like car commercials, and like I got rocks and flags, and he goes, drive a big truck, gonna kick some ass, whatever. So that I think it was just coming from there, just like grabbing that riff in my head. But also, you know what? Mary Elizabeth had a really funny one too. She used to joke that they would take it as far as like Jesus carrying the cross, and then all of a sudden like a truck comes up and he like throws the cross in the back of the truck to take himself up the hill. It was like Jesus drives a Ford. So credit to Mary Elizabeth for that one.
That's pretty great.
But that was not scripted at all.
What was scripted?
There was not a song to be sung. He just started
I think it was just like "Don't tread on me" or something.
Yeah, don't tread on me. And then
I remember talking about this with him at the time. I don't remember if it was when we were writing the script or when we were doing the scene, and him telling, because I remember him telling us back in the day that was something that he and Hornsby used to joke about. Yeah, about truck commercials.
But the song, I think, was just you just came up
No,
with it.
the song.
Yeah, just spit it out on the spot.
I do feel like the chorus, the rock, flag, and eagle.
That was from the thing.
Yeah, it ended with that, but then that was the thing that you guys used to do. But you added a whole thing before it. Like, I love that.
You're laughing through the whole thing.
Yeah,
that I can see.
Yeah.
And I remember they were laughing too, which
Yeah.
is why we don't cut. Which is why we don't cut to them.
Well, no, we don't cut to us.
cut
but
to us,
thank
I mean.
God, that's why. Like, I was watching the episode last night, and Jill was with me, and she it's like one of her favorite moments in the entire show. And she loves it. Like, we sing it all the time at our house. But it's great because you look at Caitlin, and she just reacts like a real. You know what I mean? Just like it's like looking at him like, what is he doing?
Yes.
You know what I mean? I know for a fact that you and I were just laughing.
Yeah, that's why you don't cut. You don't cut to us
why I
at
don't cut to
all.
it. You
You
can't.
basically wait until he leaves, and then it cuts back to our reaction.
That's right.
Because we were laughing through the whole thing.
That's funny.
And we would have ruined it.
I also remember
I don't
laughing.
think you would be able to get through that now. I think you would have cracked yourself up even more now than you would back then. I think
No, I think it's switched. I think at the beginning, I think I was much more quick to like think something was funny that I was doing, and now it's fucking you, man, and you too. Like when you do a funny thing, I'm dead. I'm like
it kills you.
I can't look at you.
The scene I remember that was really hard to get through was you talking about explaining that you don't want
what Girls Gone Wild
You
is.
want-
Yeah.
and we got like
My God,
So
you are
close.
so straight in this episode.
yeah. Oh, I'm
you are
so straight.
so straight. You're a different character.
Yeah, I'm a completely different
Yeah,
person.
pretty much. Yeah, yeah. I that's actually I was thinking that too when I was watching. I'm like, oh, I feel like this is the first time I ever did that sort of like Dennis creepy Dennis thing of like, because it's very reminiscent of what we do later in the episode where I say like, don't you want to live in another man's skin?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There was something very funny to me about like a very low voice, like very intense,
Yeah.
and I remember thinking that at the time, like, oh, that's funny. Like if it gets very quiet.
Yeah, and I think I remember Charlie kept saying like, "Get closer, get closer, get closer," and the closer we would get, it's like almost like the way I talk on the microphone.
Yeah.
And your lips were like right up against my face.
Yeah,
and I couldn't stop laughing.
I noticed you better without the pop card. The pop card was luring you in a way.
it was,
Like
yeah.
without the pop card, you seem to be fine.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That's
I don't know if
I don't know what that
but
means.
I will say the pop guard I feel like does a better job at preventing the pops because I can pop the shit out of this thing.
yeah.
And
We might have to go back to the pop cards.
that might be a Juilliard thing. I got so good at articulating, you know what I mean, that like my P's are particularly my plosives are particularly intense.
The top 3 vehicles in the U.S. are trucks.
Yes.
The top one is the Ford F-Series. Yeah.
What'd I say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What percentage of person?
How good did that make you feel? You were very happy about that.
You were so excited to be right about that.
Well, it's like it's like one of those things where like I know I'm a smart guy, and then when I say something smart and it proves to the world how smart I am, then it's like, oh, now not only do I know that I'm really really smart, now everyone knows.
Right.
So of course it feels good.
It's satisfying.
Yeah,
for sure. For sure. I like when I get something right. I'm very happy with it. Always.
If you get super happy about getting something right, though, probably what it really is that
you're super insecure about
how
you get
often I'm wrong.
Yeah. Oh my
yes,
God.
Yes.
Yeah, we all
exactly
are.
right.
Everyone's got that.
Sorry, go ahead.
Can we stop down for a second to talk about trucks? Why did that percentage of people need trucks? How many people need a
listen,
truck? A lot of people need trucks. A lot of
you're
people are working and need that truck.
That's what I'm saying. You're not hauling lawn equipment around and lumber and all that kind of stuff. But I think the average American is like needs to be able to haul shit around because they can't.
Average American, the majority of people need to be able to haul.
They're super. Yes, and they're super cost effective.
They are cost effective.
By the way, I like trucks. I kind of want one.
I absolutely
had a
want a
pickup
truck.
Remember, I had a pickup truck.
You had a Toyota Tacoma.
Pretty un-American of you, but you had a pickup truck. For sure.
That was a little bit un-American of you, though. You want to talk about that?
Toyota? It was that. Yeah, that was made in the U.S. of A.
Did you color out the side so it just said "Yo" on the back?
No.
Oh, you didn't do that move?
No, I should have. That would have been
No,
cool.
that's the move.
It would have been funny for you to do it knowing how stupid that is, but to do it just to annoy your friends.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That would have been the
That's
kind.
a great
That seems
truck.
like your sense of
My
humor.
brother still drives that truck.
He still has that?
Yes,
it's
he
still,
does.
Yeah,
That's 20
Toyota makes a
Those
good truck.
things,
Yeah.
They
those
make
things
a
last
good. They make a good truck.
forever.
Great truck.
Forever. Great truck.
Great truck. And you really do use it a lot more often than you think.
Well, listen. I mean, if you can't hire a mover because you don't want to have to pay the money, then you get your friends together and you throw stuff in your trucks and you haul it from here to there. You know what I mean?
My buddy's dad hauled kids in the back of his truck.
Yeah.
Like we would go to baseball games and stuff in the back of his truck.
That was before the dual cab truck was more prevalent, right? So
the only time that we had to like get down is like when we were going over the bridge and going off the island in Rhode Island and then be like, all right, get down and go through the toll booth because I don't want to get pinched going 50 on the highway with like six kids in the back of a pickup truck.
Yeah.
But let me tell you what, it was awesome.
It's totally
It was
awesome.
the best way to ride.
Super fun.
Yeah.
Super fun. Super dangerous and super fun. Yeah,
That's
we
what
did the
makes
same
it
thing.
fun.
Safety kills the fun, man.
It does,
Kills
doesn't
all the
it?
fun.
Oh God, there's a moment in the episode that always made me laugh. There's a lot of it that's in the there's outtakes of it in the bloopers, but it's I always found it so funny, the concept of like Dee asking you where's your breath,
Yeah.
and you thinking it's in and you think it's in your mouth, and it's the reason it's funny to me is because like it's plausible that somebody would be like where's my breath? Well, I feel it in my mouth. Like that's where.
Yeah. Well, technically, it is in your mouth, also. You know,
Right.
And if you're looking for it, where would you find it?
Yeah.
And then
Find it in the mouth.
in the bloopers. You misunderstood. You're like, she's like, no, it's in your diaphragm, and you're like, what? No, the diaphragm. That's the. And then you like make a gesture, like to keep the babies out or whatever.
You know, the little rubber like yarmulke that goes
in the
into your...
in the outtakes. You say that like it goes in the monkey hole.
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah,
my
yeah,
God, that's right.
We cut that. Why didn't we put that in the episode?
I don't know.
Maybe we thought it was too far. I don't know. Maybe because like you guys were laughing.
Maybe we laughed through it. Probably.
I know, but that was one of the first instances in which somebody was making Caitlin break consistently.
Oh yeah, she's
and
tough.
that she's
to
a
make
tough
laugh.
nut to crack.
She's tough.
Yeah.
That's one of the first scenes I actually remember doing, just me and Caitlin. Although I know there are other ones from the like when we go to see the Pop Pop.
Yes.
In the season before, but for whatever reason, that one sticks out to me as like
It wasn't a pairing that happened all that often.
yeah, and we were riffing, and it was funny.
Yeah. I love that. I love that scene. I love that.
I don't
love
get that
everything
pairing a
about
lot, and I always enjoy it. Those episodes are always really funny to me.
Yeah. So, big theme in this episode, obviously, is patriotism, right?
Uh-huh.
Do you guys consider yourselves patriots? Are you proud of this country?
Yeah, absolutely.
I love this country.
So do I. So do I. Good. I'm glad we established that. Now, if you were to fight for this country and join one of the armed forces, which branch of the military do you think you would be inclined to join?
Wow.
I think I want to be a Marine.
You want to be on the ground. You want to get after it.
Yeah, just to have gone through that and say, yeah, I'm a Marine. Don't fuck with me.
Right.
cool.
Oh,
That'd be
so
pretty
you
damn
wouldn't
cool.
do it to fight for your country. You'd do it because on the other side of it, you'd be like
both, pal.
considered a tough guy.
For both. Yeah. Absolutely.
The perception. You like the perception of being a Marine.
No, I would like the reality of being a Marine.
You would?
But, yeah, my buddy Carl's a Marine. And when the shit goes down, I know Carl can snap to action.
Oh, I see.
And take care of business.
Right. Right.
And that doesn't just mean like a bar fight. That means any kind of situation.
Right. Getting stuck out in the woods and knowing how to build a fire and you know how to get rescued. And you know, if you come across a bear, you're like, bitch, I'm a Marine. And then you get killed anyway.
Yeah,
it
because
doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter unless you have a gun.
Yeah, but your attitude is different, right? You're not screaming. You're not screaming and running away. You're screaming and running at the bear, and the bear's going, "Oh no, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. I know you've been taught that, but I'm going to maul you now," and then you die. But either way, you die a hero because you were a Marine.
Unless you win. Unless you kick that bear's ass.
That's true. How would you do that?
Fucking rip its head right off. I'm a Marine, man.
Right, just jump on its head, like jump on it from behind and choke it out, and then fucking, you know, like start going at it with your Bowie knife.
Yeah, I grab the nearest source of distraction, right? Whether it's a big rock or maybe just like a little branch, you wave it in its face.
Yeah, they love that shit.
Yeah, you're like, it's
Yeah.
like, and then it's like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah,
What is
yeah,
this? Is it food? Does this beast have a longer arm? And then before, and before that stupid ass bear knows it, bam,
You're on it.
rock to that. Yeah,
Rock to the
Yeah,
head.
but this is fantasy Marine, man. This is
Yeah, that's right. Well, by the way, a rock to the head on a bear, I think, would probably just be like, ow. It's just going to piss it off. You know what I mean? Like, there's...
right down the throat. It chokes on the rock.
Oh, you stuff it down its throat?
I don't know. I'm not a Marine. I haven't been trained in this yet.
I would stick a bone in its mouth like Luke Skywalker did to that creature in Return of the Jedi. You remember when he gets... When he falls down into the pit in Jabba's lair?
Yeah, and then
the Rancor.
Yeah.
The Rancor.
Oh.
Yeah, he's got it, and so he takes a bone and sticks it in its mouth, and you know that was pretty cool. And then he throws a rock and hits the thing, and the gate comes down on the Rancor's neck.
Kills him.
Yeah, you know what I always really loved about that scene? Can I just say this real quick? Like what I find so, this is why that first trilogy was just so great. It's one of the reasons, one of the many reasons. But like I love that like he kills this like. This monster, this monstrous, scary fucking creature that like basically its whole thing is it eats the people that get thrown into that pit, right? And it's scary and it's got a scary mouth and it looks scary and it sounds scary. And then Luke kills it. And as it's dying, it sounds like a sweet little, it's like, and you kind of feel bad for it. And then the trainer, the guy, the handler, the Rancor's handler, that's this like fat guy, comes waddling in and is crying.
Yeah.
He's crying because
Just to
he's
really
so
fuck the
upset
kids
that
at home up, but
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, I just thought that was such a good touch.
Yeah,
Like that.
yeah.
That's fucking
Somebody's
smart.
sad. Yeah.
But most
like
movies in the
yeah.
80s, they would not have portrayed a creature like it was more simple than that. It was like this is a bad monstrous creature.
Yeah.
And the good guy's going to kill it, and you're not going to feel bad at all because it was a bad creature. But in this one, you're like, no. It's like there was someone who cared for this creature, who fed this creature, who took care of it. And I just think that's brilliant. So good job, George Lucas.
Good job,
good.
Star Wars.
Great.
Yeah, good job, Star Wars.
I think you're gonna make it.
Yeah, Star Wars,
Glenn,
the Beatles of movies.
What I know you're the host of the podcast, so I'm sorry to take that responsibility from you for just a second. But can I ask you, what armed force would you like to join?
Oh, I did want to go back to that. Yes.
Well, I think I pretty like by default almost would have probably joined the Air Force because my grandfather was, well, at the time it actually wasn't the Air Force, it was the Army Air Force because the Air Force was a part of the Army. They weren't their own branch yet, but so he was in the Air Force, and then my dad, of course, was a Air Force Academy graduate and flew airplanes, and so he was in the Air Force. So I think I probably would have done that, you know.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, you know, and by the way, that's the reason my grandfather joined the Air Force when he was like in his late 20s because he knew he was going to get drafted for World War II. He was a jazz musician. He played the trumpet and he played the piano. He was in a jazz band. That's what he did. He was a jazz musician. But he was like, I'm about to get drafted. And he's like, I think I'd rather be in the air than on the ground. So before getting drafted, he joined the Air Force and became a pilot. which I think is pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But and your dad fought in Vietnam, right? I mean,
And then my dad flew in Vietnam. Yeah. Yeah, but it's interesting because my grandfather also, I mean, he saw some, I think he thought maybe it was going to be safer in the air, and boy, was it not.
Well, my grandfather thought it would be safer in the sea, and it wasn't.
No. It wasn't safe anywhere.
No. Well, it was a war.
Well, it was a war.
It was a war. These are some tough
but
people.
I mean, I'm not kidding when I tell you that my dad tells stories of my grandfather that were told to him by my grandfather. My grandfather never got around. I never got around. I don't know, a kid, and I never got these stories. But like my dad was telling me, after almost every single mission, my grandfather would bring his B-52 bomber back and land it, and it would just look like Swiss cheese.
Yeah.
Just, you know what I mean?
He's just getting shot to pieces up in the sky.
Like barely getting it back.
Yeah. My grandfather was on an aircraft carrier, and he would talk about getting strafed like on a daily basis. Strafed, sorry, on a daily basis, and then like, he would come home and the boat would be like torn apart. He got shot.
Yeah.
And like they were in their early 20s.
Yeah.
And when I was in my early 20s, I was navigating traffic down Franklin.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I was like, this sucks.
Bitching about traffic.
I gotta fucking sit here while the traffic up Laurel Canyon. I'm like, I gotta get home. I gotta get.
My grandfather died
In the war?
In a military training accident in an airplane.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Wow, I didn't know that
yeah,
either.
my dad was 4, so I never met the man.
Oh, man.
Yeah, how about that?
Should we hug? You
Wow.
Yeah, well,
Do we hug him?
so my grandfather,
His
two
hands
guys.
on his hips.
'Cause my grandfather, so, you know what I mean? Thanks, guys. I mouthed the mic. I never met the man.
Oh, that is sad. That's too bad. That's too bad. Yeah. One story that my dad told me about my grandfather that I'd never heard, and he told me this last Christmas, I think, or the last Christmas I was home, which sadly was 2 years ago because of the pandemic.
Can you get more specific about one of the stories?
Oh God, I know. I go into unnecessary detail. I
Give me
apologize.
the time.
Yeah. Approximately what time
It was about 12:30.
And were you hungry? Had you eaten?
I was still just doing the coffee thing, I think,
Okay.
probably. But
12:30 Pacific Coast time.
Yeah. My cousin was there too. He was a helicopter pilot. Anyway, all these unnecessary. Anyway, he was flying a mission one time, and he was flying low, and his co-pilot, who was a very close friend of his, the plane was getting strafed, and at one point, he looked. He saw his friend and his co-pilot literally just get physically cut in half, cut in half by bullets. He then fell forward on the yoke and was pushing the plane downward. So my grandfather had to proceed to fly the plane with one arm while holding his best friend with the other arm, holding him up so that he wouldn't
Push the plane down.
and landed the plane that way. That's the kind of thing that, like, I can't even
No, you
comprehend.
can't wrap your head around that.
No. To tie it into the episode in some regard, because we have a deer hunter reference in this episode. For those who've never seen the movie The Deer Hunter, the sort of the Russian roulette game they're playing at the end with Frank with little eye patches, stolen directly from the movie The Deer Hunter.
Yeah.
When I saw that film, it rocked me
Me too.
for 2 reasons. One, just like maybe I was young enough to be like, war's like this? Oh, war's bad.
Yeah.
but also in terms of acting, where I think you're a kid and you see Superman or The Three Amigos or whatever, and I don't really think much of acting. And then you see The Deer Hunter, and you're like, oh, acting can be that. That's what acting is. And that's the thing that's the movie that changed me in terms of.
Yeah. The performances in that movie are just, if you guys haven't seen The Deer Hunter, you gotta. It's just like, it's required viewing.
It's just like Sunny.
It's very similar to Sonny.
Yeah.
But it is amazing to think about, like, because I've met your dad. I've hung out with your dad many times, and he couldn't be kinder or sweeter. And it must be difficult, though, in some way to, like, come back from what he had to experience in Vietnam, and then just not only fold back into normal society, but then also have to listen to people complain about the shit we complain about.
That's right.
Everybody's experience and pain and struggle is relative. We get that, but still, like, when they go through something like that and they come back here and hear me bitch about, like I said, like the traffic on Laurel Canyon. I mean, who gives a fuck?
Yeah. No, he did. I mean, he did experience that, as I recall. I mean, he I don't know, let's see, how old was he when he came back? I can't remember. He must have been 25 or 26 when he came
Well,
back.
my
from
brother-in-law,
Vietnam.
same thing. I mean, he did 2 tours in Afghanistan, flew Apache helicopters, but he couldn't be kinder or sweeter. And he just texted me the other day, and he's like, I heard about your foot, because I tore some ligaments in my foot. And
Yeah, he
you know,
wasn't
it's
like man up or anything.
No,
He was like,
no.
yeah, he had empathy.
yeah, which
Yeah.
is crazy considering what he had to go through.
Yeah, I mean, I think those guys felt a lot. I mean, I know my dad. He came back and he was like, what? He was like, he didn't know what was going on in the culture. You know what I mean? He didn't know what was going on, like music wise or like, and I think to some degree everything just kind of felt like super weird to him. Like the things that people concerned themselves with were very strange to him.
Like the Beatles.
Oh.
Really? Well, it was
What
the
do you mean?
60s.
No, the Beatles. Oh yeah.
Oh, you mean his experience of the Beatles? He was a big.
Like,
He
the
actually
Beatles
was a big.
got long hair now.
I don't know. I was
And
just trying to bring it back around, just because it's a comedy podcast.
Yeah. We'll cut all
We
this.
got- yeah, we'll cut
all
that,
this.
cut that,
cut that.
Sentimental
Don't cut it.
shit.
Don't cut it. Don't cut
Guys,
it.
we love our service members who.
Yeah.
Who,
Oh, yes,
You know,
very much so.
but
Many friends and family.
the whole thing about a bit. Patriotism, man, that's been adopted by all sorts of extreme groups. That it's pretty frustrating.
It is frustrating. It's frustrating, the implication that if you're a liberal and a Democrat, that you're not as much of a patriot. That's what it feels like. I know that's maybe not.
We're all suffering the extremes of this country, just like the extremes on the right, extremes on the left. I think most people fall somewhere in the middle and are just like, what? Can these guys just shut up? But they can't. That's their thing.
That's the nature.
That's
Yeah.
look. That's what it is.
Speaking of falling somewhere in the middle,
Can we talk about that jacket?
sure.
Talk about that jacket for
Yeah,
a second.
sure.
It's kind of sort of like a Southwest vibe.
Glenn's
Yeah.
wearing a button-up, snap up.
Yeah, you're gonna have to go to the
Southwest
video
jacket.
to check it out.
Yeah, we have video now.
Kind of has like a
Yeah, right, like a Santa Fe kind of.
like a
like it.
Connor from Succession vibe.
I dig it. Connor from Success.
Which one is?
Right.
Oh, you see the
brother.
one who wanted
Yeah.
to run for
Ferris
president.
Bueller.
Yeah, from Ferris Bueller. Yeah, Alan Ruck.
Yeah,
It's got that kind of
I'll tell
Southwest
you,
vibe.
man,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
show, the guy who plays Tom,
Amazing.
Oh my God.
Everybody on that show is
everyone's
fucking
amazing, but
So
like,
good.
I feel like as an actor, I see that guy and I'm like, oh man, this guy's got all the pitches, fastball, slider, curve, everything.
He does. Yeah,
Everything.
He's got the goods.
He's
big
got
time.
the goods.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. He's
Holy cow.
And his style. He's so funny.
So
But his
funny.
style of being funny is like nothing I've ever seen. I've never seen an actor do comedy the way he's doing comedy.
He's
never.
great. Top notch.
Top notch. Is there something else you wanted to ask me about this jacket?
I've just never seen that before. I've never seen you wear that. Even I've never seen you dress in that style.
It was-
Is this a new thing? Is this something we're going to lean into?
No. I've actually had this jacket for a really long time, and I haven't worn it because I thought it was. I felt like it was too long. You can't really see how long. But I actually asked Charlie when I first came in. I was like, "Hey, man, do you think this jacket's too long?"
No, it's not long
And he
at
said,
all.
"Why are we talking? Why are you talking to me that we haven't started the podcast yet?"
Right.
Yeah, save it.
No, but he actually told me that it wasn't too long, and now I feel pretty good about it. You know what's cool? It's reversible. Look at that.
Oh, yeah.
That's a ton
like a
of fun.
good
That's a ton of fun.
That
right
is
there.
Isn't
Yeah.
that fun?
Yeah.
A reversible jacket is just, it's a twofer.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah. Your dad's getting shot to shit and you got a reversible jacket.
That's right.
You
There
know,
we go.
like,
Yeah, I'm online looking. I'm frustrated because I can't find the right twofer jacket.
You're wondering if your jacket's too long.
Right.
Hey, man, look, we got to live. You know,
Yeah.
you got to be you.
Hey guys, this was the first time we had Margaret McPoyle on the show.
Yes.
Correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the funniest things in the episode, if you, again, for those of you who are going to go back and watch these with us, there's a moment where Nate Mooney's character, where Ryan McPoyle is making out with Margaret McPoyle, and Liam is just sitting there watching. Now, do yourselves a favor. It's very hard to take your eyes off of what's happening with Ryan and Margaret. Do yourself a favor. Next time you watch it, don't watch Ryan and Margaret at all. Just watch Jimmy Simpson. Just watch Liam McPoyle's
Jimmy
reaction to that makeout session, because it is so funny. It's so
it's
weird.
joyful, right?
Well, yeah, he's just like watching with like a little like smile on his face, and just like he's just like, yeah. And he's almost kind of laughing a little bit, like, because I think Jimmy probably found it slightly amusing, and he was like, well, that works for the character.
I think it's interesting that we kind of all, after watching the episodes, we kind of all agree when one is like good, like holds up, you know, to our standard now, and when one doesn't.
We have a baseline for what we want it to be, and it's
But
very difficult to make any kind of movie or any kind of television show work because there's no math to it. There's no science equation of like, you simply add this and this and this and it all adds up, you know? And that thing that you're looking for, much like when the Beatles are looking for a song, there's no like meter that goes off and says, yes, this is a working song. And this is how you get there. You have to make it up as you go along. And I agree. It's very interesting that we all have some kind of standard for what that is. Glenn, you and I later today are talking about the season of Sunny in the press on another podcast. And without discussing, you and I both picked the same episode to talk about.
Yeah, I found that interesting.
And I do feel like that particular episode, which is the second of the Ireland ones, I feel like is one of the best ones we've done for years. But who knows exactly how we get there or why. It's interesting.
Yeah.
So we all watch this episode and say, oh, there's moments of what we want the show to be, and there's moments of what we don't want the show to be. And we can kind of learn from that and go to the next episode, but you can't really learn until the next year because we're doing them all at the same time, you know? I don't know.
Yeah, well, and also you just our tastes, change through the years. I'm not. My sense of humor is not the same as it was in 2006.
Sure, but I bet we. I can't know for sure, but I bet we felt roughly the same back then.
Roughly,
where we were probably oh yeah, there's some good parts of this one, and maybe some aspects that aren't as good as it can be.
I think
you
that's
guys
probably
doing
true.
a podcast without me?
You declined, buddy. You were invited.
Which one was it?
I don't think he wasn't. Oh, was he?
He
invited?
was invited. Yeah,
I
it's
didn't know that.
Vulture.
Yeah, so the good one.
We're just doing some
podcast?
press,
Oh,
and
okay.
you were unavailable.
Tech on avail.
Well, I'll make myself available for you guys. I thought
No, we're
usually
good.
I thought you.
We're good. We got it. It's fine.
Yeah, we got it. Yeah, we've learned a lot here.
Yeah, we got it.
We learned a lot about you.
Yeah, I think we've gotten enough out of you today. Guys, I just want to say I love America. I am very grateful for this country that we live in. I'm actually not even joking at all. I think we're extraordinarily lucky to be born here. Not that other countries aren't great too, but I'm very happy to be an American. And I would like to sign off by just saying rock, flag, and eagle.
I'm with you. I believe in America, and I believe in where we can get with America. Which is that's the great thing about this country is that we can keep attempting to improve it. I think there's a lot of people out there frustrated about where the country's at, and worried, and
That's fair.
And we've been through bumpy roads before, and we'll get through it, or we won't, and it's all going to end. I don't know.
It may end.
But if you're looking for your answers in a comedy podcast, that's probably part of what's wrong.
Yeah. Rob, you want to say anything?
Rock, flag, and eagle.
Sounded like you said Rob Flag and Eagle.
That's sort of a boy. I gotta dig deep. For that.
Yeah, that's a Freudian slip there.
Yeah.
Rock, flag, and eagle.
All right. Well, John, Paul, and Ringo.
There it is. My sound is weird.
Oh, is that?
Because you didn't clap. Try clapping.
I can only hear it in my left ear.
Maybe it's your ears that are
Can
off.
you turn my right ear on?
Do you still have your earwax in? Have you been swimming? Do you remember the kids that would have to like plug up their ears with wax to go swimming?
No, they didn't have earplugs for
Yeah,
me?
I had to
Is
do
that
that.
you?
Yeah.
You can only hear, Glenn, you said
I can only hear in my...
out of your right
Wait,
ear.
hold on a second.
Plugged in all the way down there?
Oh, look at that. No, yeah, okay.
That was it, huh? That was it?
Sometimes it's as simple as that.
Sometimes
you know what
as
I mean?
simple as that, guys.
I had our fireplace was not working. We have a gas fireplace in the family room, and we had a technician come out and check it out. And it, he was there for about 15 minutes before he basically just realized all I had to do was change the batteries in a thing that whatever the control is that controls the thing. It was just he just took the batteries out and put new batteries in, and I was like,
yeah.
Well, that's just embarrassing, but also really frustrating that my when. That's right.
Hey, Glenn, I'm
Sometimes,
noticing that you and
sometimes.
I have a similar look today.
We do and we don't. You have.
And Caitlin were my parents.
Oh. Testes. 1, 2, 3.
You know, guys, I've run into. Guys, can we talk about hats? We're all wearing hats today.
We are, yeah. What are you advertising?
I don't know. It's just a hat.
I'm not advertising. I'm
That was a
showing
dig.
support.
That was a dig.
And me.
Yeah,
That was
a dig.
Oh yeah.
I'm showing support.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's smart. You should
I
do
have a
it.
question about hats. I've been wearing. I think the listener would find, or the watcher would find this more interesting than the episode. I know I do. I don't know. Just general conversation about things like hats.
Then the Sunny episode.
Yeah.
The Sunny episode's hilarious.
I'm not commenting
We'll
on
get
that.
into that.
Yeah, I just don't talking about. I've noticed that I'm having the most fun when we're just talking about hats or things of that nature.
Of that nature, yeah.
I
so
like the balance. There's a good balance because I do like when we start going in depth in terms of what we were thinking about why we made a choice that we made. And I think that's interesting for the listener or
Look,
watcher
this is why
at
the
home.
show works. I have an idea. You're like, I don't like that. Let's do this other thing. And you're like, I see validity in both of those. Let's just see how it goes. And then we just kind of find a happy medium.
Yeah, but that's what I just said. I said I see validity in both.
Well, hold
Not
on a
Glenn.
second.
You
No.
indicated to him.
But that's because we've had this
He's
conversation
giving you-
before, and that's something I've said to you. No, what about hats?
What about get into it.
Okay, so I my whole life I've worn hats, but I've turned the bill the way that yours is, right?
Yeah,
And so I started seeing people wearing the flat bill, and I thought, I don't know if I can pull that off. But I do think it looks cool. I see Charlie he's not wearing one today, really.
He can do it either way.
But he can go either way.
I can go either
he
way.
goes the flat, and I think it looks pretty cool. Now, I don't know if it looks cool because it seems like we're like 25-year-olds, like trying to look. And is it sad maybe that a 44-year-old's going to wear a flat brim hat? Seems like a young person's game. I'm not sure, but I do like this hat.
Is this the question? Are you wondering?
Yeah, I'm wondering, can I pull off? Because I've now noticed that I've gone out and bought a couple of flat bill hats, and I enjoy them.
Can you take your headphones off for a second?
Yeah.
Can I
I like the 5-build hat.
think it's a head shape thing. I think I think it looks good.
I like
it
both.
doesn't. I can't do it. My head is very oval shaped, so when I do the flat brim thing, the whole thing's too round, so it like presses into my temple. I can't.
Can
do
I
that.
see this on you?
Sure.
Let's see.
I'm gonna help Glenn out because he's one-handed.
Caitlin says the same thing, and then she'll put on a hat like that, and it looks cool.
This is okay.
See, that looks cool to me.
Now you can do
You can
either.
do that. You can make that
Here's
work.
the thing.
Really?
I think the thing with fashion in general, it's just about the confidence of the choice. You know,
Yeah, are you going all the way
look
in?
at my man Jonah Hill out there.
Yes.
Wearing whatever the hell he wants.
Yeah.
And by the way, it looks great.
He looks great.
The more sort of out. Yeah, I'm sorry, Glenn. He needs help.
Yeah. Sorry. Now, Glenn, I think you can wear that flat billed hat all day. In fact, I think it looks really good.
The flat, you like the flat? Okay.
Yeah.
I kind of wish you would taken a picture. Yeah. I don't know. It's never. That actually. Maybe the trick is that maybe I'm making the hat too tight. Because that was a little loose on me, and that felt good. But then that always feels goofy to me because it seems like there's too much room on the
Much space
outside.
inside
And then,
here.
You know what I don't have confidence to do, but I think they look great, is like the full-on like Bob Dylan sort of like half cowboy, half fedora hat. You know, like the real hipstery kind of just like
I've
strong
noticed
hat
that whatever hat choice you make, you pull off. Sunglasses and hats, they all look good on you.
Well, I think it's just the hat itself looks good, right? And so I just chose to wear it. You know what I mean? I think that's what I'm
it's
saying.
also a
It's
head
just like-
shape. It's like a
Yeah, I
head
think
shape
you got a
thing,
head and a good face shape for glasses and sunglasses.
I
I've
don't know.
noticed.
I don't know. I'm sure there's plenty of hats and sunglasses that would not look great. you
I'm
know?
noticing that there's a trend that there's a lot of compliments being thrown Charlie's way on this podcast.
Let's get Glenn some
No,
compliments over here.
no. That's not what I'm asking for. That's not what I'm asking
That's true.
for.
Like yesterday, you guys were saying that I was very athletic, and I was thinking, you guys are athletic. What's it think?
There's something, I don't know. Yeah, it's just something I've noticed. It's okay.
Okay.
As you were.
You know, I'm a jack of all trades and hats, and
Hats, athletics, sunglasses,
Athletics.
and
dabble on. But you dabble in a million things, a million more than I do. I feel like I get very, very good at like a couple things versus you do.
Yeah,
You do a lot of things not that way.
Yes, I do a lot of things not that way.
Average.
Yeah.
Yes, like I'm
Like
kind
a
of
true
okay at some.
dilettante, I think is the term.
It is?
Yeah.
I don't know what that word is. I
So
mean, I've heard that word, but
that's
if I'm being honest, I don't know what it is.
It's like somebody who has a lot of like passions but isn't serious about any of them.
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah, dilettante. That sounds
No,
right.
well, I'm very serious in the moment, and then I'm done for the day, and I'm like, great, I'll do that tomorrow, and then I don't. But then I pick it back up 2 weeks later, and I'm like, not that good, but I keep.
I don't think you are that. I think you really learn and get into things and know a lot of stuff. And Glenn, I love your hat.
Thanks, man. Should we talk about this episode?
Sure.
I thought it was pretty fun. I don't remember this being the second episode of the third season. I don't know why, but for some reason this
Because
episode...
we shot it much later, and
Did
then
we?
I think we liked it and pulled it up or something.
Well, a lot of the scenes were shot in Philly,
Yeah.
for sure.
But that was at the end.
Which was at the end of our shooting
Yeah.
schedule usually. So yeah.
Did you guys notice something we have a thing now, or we had a thing then when we would have like 2 or 3 scenes before the episode started? And,
Oh,
and we
instead
just
of
started
one-
doing
instead
that,
of
stopped
one
doing that.
single
Yeah, So
scene.
there's like one, there's like 2 scenes. There's
Mm-hmm.
the scene in the bar where we're all arguing like crazy and Charlie screams. Then we go outside.
Yeah.
Right. Then we come back for essentially a third scene after
Back at the bar.
back at the bar where we're actually talking about what we're going to do. And we then at some point just skip past that, and now we just have somebody come in the cold open and say, okay, the episode's about to start because we're going to
Just
go
right-
try out for the Eagles. But
Yeah.
you don't know that we're going to try out for the Eagles for a very long time.
Yeah, for longer
And
than
it's
we would take
unnecessary.
now. Is that arguing? Was that a sort of self-aware meta
Yes.
like answer
Yeah.
to like a criticism of the show? Isn't it funny that we like what, like 8, 10, 15 episodes into doing our show, or like, well, we better comment on what
Let's
we're
go ahead.
doing?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, just self-reflecting constantly.
But I do appreciate that we doubled down. So people are like, it's the show where they just yell at each other. It's so annoying. And we were like, you know what? Let's start an episode where we're screaming at the top of our lungs.
let's acknowledge it and then keep doing
And
it.
lean into
and
it.
really lean into it. Yeah. Yeah.
one little thing I had completely forgotten about this episode, which I enjoyed so much, was the capes.
Oh, yeah.
Was
Yeah.
that when people
Yeah.
were trying out wearing capes, and
Yeah.
I had no recollection of the guy with the lunchbox
Yeah, he was
whose
great.
mom
On
made
the
his
bus?
cape, who
Yes.
was fucking great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who was that guy?
He's an actor.
Yeah,
I don't know.
but
He
I mean,
killed
like,
me.
I don't remember.
He killed me. And when I'm just talking about the things I like. This is not really interesting.
Philip Newby.
Philip Newby. Okay, way
Philip
to go, Philip.
Newby?
Yes,
hilarious.
a nebbish guy, it says, which I'm
Nebbish
assuming
guy.
was that guy.
I remember him being, now look, maybe I'm wrong. Look, can you look it up, Meg? And if not, we'll cut that. I think he was legally blind.
Yeah, I think so.
I remember
Yeah,
him
no,
saying
his-
like on day one, he was
He
like,
might
oh
have
yeah,
been.
I
Yeah.
can't really see. And
Yeah.
we were like, right, well, you should definitely come join us. Like that's such a fun character trait for someone trying
Right.
out for the Eagles.
Yeah, right. To not be able to see.
It was so funny.
Whose mom made him a cape.
Faison Love is hilarious
Amazing.
in the episode.
Do you guys remember Faison? I every time I see Faison in something, I'm like, why is this guy not a massive movie star?
I know
But
why.
yeah, I think I know why too. Maybe I don't know. I don't know if this trend like sort of carries through his entire acting career. But I'm sure you guys remember this. The very first day that we shot with him, it's not the first scene that we see him in because that was actually in Philly, so that was much later. The very first scene that we shot, I believe, was the scene where he calls us all over and he, gives us the speech right before he introduces Donovan McNabb. And
The speech was so long.
it was like
a page and a half, and it was really funny.
Yeah, it was-
I remember it was really funny. We were
Right.
really looking forward
we
to seeing
spent
it.
a lot of time
yeah.
crafting this really funny like speech that he gives to everybody. And Faison, so the way we do things, and not a lot of shows do this, but what we always do is the very first thing we do is we just read the scene. We get together with all the actors that are in the scene. We've got what's called sides, which is just a small version of the scene in script form, and we just read it first before we block it. Well, so we show up to do this scene. We're outside. We've all got our sides, and we're all standing around. Except I noticed that Faison didn't have his sides, and I was like, "Oh wow, this guy's like this guy's a pro.
He's off book, as they say in the industry.
He's already off book, and normally you're not off book by that time. You but I was like, man, it's a big speech.
It's a big speech. He
it's a
even
big
memorized
speech.
it. Yeah,
he must have really
over the
memorized
weekend.
it. Yeah.
So Monday morning, he took the whole weekend.
Right, exactly. So we show up. He we gather around for rehearsal. Faison's there. We're all looking around, and Savage calls action. He's like, action. Nobody says anything, and we're like, oh, Faison, that's you. And he's like, oh, and we're like, go. And he's like, wait, he's like, I don't know. Does anybody have any signs?
He's like, what do you want me to say?
What do you want me to say? So not only did he
He didn't read it.
Not right.
He didn't even read it.
Not entirely certain he read the script.
Oh, he definitely didn't read the script. No way.
Showed up to the rehearsal not knowing his lines and didn't even have the sides to prompt his lines.
To be very clear, it's not a rehearsal like a week before you film. The rehearsal is just right before you say action and actually roll the cameras.
Pretty much. Yeah.
So,
you've got maybe 15 minutes between the time you rehearse. Yeah, the 15 minutes they light it, and then you're shooting it.
And adjust your shirt, and then make sure your
shoot.
microphone's in your shirt.
And we're like, oh no, this guy's got a page and a half long speech. He's like, we're screwed. And he didn't know it, and he just improvised a bunch of stuff, and we cut it, down to that little short thing that's in the thing.
Yes.
That's in the episode. Yeah.
Yeah. And
God bless him.
And it totally worked. I mean, that's the thing is like, I think that he's so lovable and fun, and he was really cool. It wasn't like he was coming in to be a dick. He was just like, this is the way I do it.
I guess there was also a conception that we were an improv show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think people thought we were just like, here's a scenario, let's make up a scene.
Yeah.
Which we were definitely not.
By the way, that would be really funny if he thought that. Did we hire him?
We just made an offer to him.
We just made an offer.
Yeah.
We'd seen the movie Made.
Yeah, an elf.
An
I mean,
elf.
he's
Yeah.
he's so
And we're
fucking
like, this
funny.
guy's great.
And it turns out, he's one of the funniest parts of the episode. I mean, it
amazing.
It absolutely works. He's just doing his own thing, and we were like, great.
There is oftentimes
what
a
we're doing.
thing where like we've scripted a whole thing and you do realize, oh, I don't need any of these words. I just need the essence of what these words are trying to get after, which he sort of embodied, which is just like, I just need the energy
Right.
and the intention. And one sentence can cover this entire speech. By the way, by the time he introduces Donovan McNabb and
Jeffrey
comes out and does that commercial, I mean, I was crying tears.
Yes.
Jeffrey's
laughing,
amazing. I
watching
mean, that's
that.
why we've used
Jeffrey's
Jeffrey
incredible.
year after year after year. Across shows, I mean, I've used him on MythiQuest a number of times. We put him in a pilot years ago.
Yep. We've had him play multiple characters on It's Always Sunny, although always as Jeffrey Owens or this mysterious man who we don't know.
He's also played Tiger Woods.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, he's played Don,
right, but
Cheadle.
it's always the same actor who presumably is Jeffrey Owens, although he never fesses up to that either.
Yes.
Because he never fesses up to actually having been what was his
Elvin.
name? Elvin on Cosby Show. Yeah. But one other thing I wanted to bring up about Faison, I'm sure you guys remember that. No, of course you do, because we've joked about it many times. The man could not say the words Donovan McNabb.
Yeah. Donna John the Crab.
Donnie and the Crab.
Donnie
That's
and
what
the
came out,
Crab.
yeah.
Donnie and the Crab, Donovan.
No, you're not a big football fan, I think, Faison.
Well, I guess not. Yeah, I guess not. But just by the way, that is a difficult name to say, Donovan McNabb. I'm having a hard time saying
Not
it.
that hard.
I'm on pain medication though, so I have an excuse. But
It's just a name.
But,
Donovan McNabb.
yeah. Slow it down if you need to. But he would just if you
make
watch
the
the
sounds.
episode, please watch the episode and watch how he pronounces it, because he never got it right.
We
once.
could go back and get the outtakes. It might be worth like putting that out there, because I don't think we put it on like a reel or whatever. He kept calling him Donnie John McCrab.
Donnie John McCrab, Donovan. I think in the episode he calls him Donovan McNabb.
We used the best
It's just
one.
a bunch of M's.
We got the best one.
Yeah, the one that was the closest. Now, a professional.
It doesn't matter. It's still so funny.
It just
And then
doesn't
he calls
matter.
him
It's
Donnie.
kind of better that he doesn't say the real
course.
name, because then it's sort of, it's almost implied that he's like not legally allowed to call this man Donovan McNabb because he's not Donovan McNabb.
Right,
So he's going to dance around it.
Yeah.
One thing we do in this episode that we then go on to do a number of times, and we've kind of gotten away from it. I think probably in a good way, because it dates the episode in a weird way, where we are referencing like popular culture, like movies that had come out.
Yeah, with
We're
Invincible.
talking about Invincible.
Yeah.
And yet, like, you know, the way that movies kind of come and go,
Yeah.
nobody knows that movie anymore. But since the show's continued on, people might go back and watch these episodes, and you have no idea what we're really talking about.
It's pretty funny that we're talking about it as the New Kids on the Block movie.
Yes, I do like that. I do like that. And not only do we refer to it as that, but Faison refers to it.
Yeah.
Because of the New Kids on the Block movie. Yeah. That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
That's why they're having to do it. Because
you
they're
don't
getting
wanna
so
do it.
many. Yeah,
They got badgered into it.
because that was the plot of the movie, right? Like they had a tryout and then.
Was that based on? That was based on a real thing,
Yeah,
right? Now,
yeah, Vince
I
Papale.
have to admit, I actually never saw that movie.
Yeah.
I did not even when we were writing the episode. I didn't even watch it. I should have. I just didn't.
It's like it's Rocky in a football.
But it was based on a real story.
Yeah.
Okay, now do you know the story?
I do, but the guy Vince Papale was a player, was like a track star. So it wasn't like some like rando guy from the neighborhood. He was just older, and then it turns out he was like, can you believe it? He was 31 years old.
But I mean, did the Eagles hold a tryout?
Yeah, they do that.
Oh, they do that?
Yeah, every NFL team still continues to do a version of that.
Did just fucking randos
yeah, they'll hold
just
like
show up?
open tryouts. Yeah.
They're like, just
real.
in case, you know, there's a farm somewhere and there's a
Right.
dude working in the barn
Right.
and he's 7'7", 380, and he's the fastest runner in the world. And they're just hoping that
Yeah.
guy shows up.
He was just too stupid to realize that football existed because he was kept.
Well,
in
he
a
had a strict daddy, right? And
And
it was
he
like,
was
I
chained
know you
up.
can play football, but we need you here on the farm. And then
What football, Daddy?
enough about football. His daddy played football, but he didn't make the Cowboys, and he was heartbroken. And he's like, and then when the son makes the team, he was just like, I just didn't want you to go through the heartbreak, son. You know, but then the guy makes the team, but then his heart explodes at 28 years old.
Yeah, because he has thyroid problems. Right, because he's 7'7". I mean,
Yeah.
didn't we just establish that? I'm going along with what you said.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, he's got a thyroid issue. Vincent Papalius?
Vince Papale.
Papalia.
or
Oh no, I
something
was
like
mixing up
Do
with
you
Lucas.
remember the refrigerator Perry?
Of course.
Oh, yeah.
He played for the Bears, but then also the Eagles.
Did he play for the Eagles?
Yes.
I remember him on the Bears.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just so big, he could just run over everyone. I remember the
He scored like a huge touchdown that one
In the Super
there was-
Bowl.
In the Super Bowl,
Yeah.
right?
the
yeah.
Patriots versus the Chicago Bears.
Yeah.
And the Pats lost like it was like 60-3 or something.
46-10 or something like that.
Oh Lord.
No, it was like 60-3. Look up what that was. What year was that?
It was a beatdown.
Patriots Bears Super Bowl.
1986, 1985.
1986.
85 season, 86.
Wow.
Super Bowl.
Wow. I mean, look.
46-10.
46-10.
46-10. You
I
were
have
right.
a weird thing for
I
that.
feel like that's
impressive.
what
I
you
remember
said.
like football scores. And
I feel like
things.
that's exactly what you said.
I dramatized it.
You sure did.
Well, because it was
60-3.
It was a beatdown. I think that it was
Yeah.
actually worse than the score.
Yeah.
Like I think they kind of let him score at the end. They just didn't care.
I just gave up. Ouch.
Yeah.
You know what we gave up on? Completely forgot about the character of Doyle McPoyle.
Yeah.
I did not remember there was a Doyle McPoyle.
Yeah, there's a door.
Maybe he died from that bullet wound.
I was laughing so hard at you laughing because this is all happening in the moment where they're just walking out of the RV and you're commenting on each one of them as they
right.
come down but you're seeing them for the first time in real life.
Oh no, that was all. Yeah, that was all
So Charlie's like
improvised.
literally laughing as he's doing it, but it
Right.
just works.
It works as the character, yeah.
Yeah, you're out here.
Yeah,
in the world.
you're in the world. That's
good.
the sun.
sun.
Yeah. Oh, good. You brought your fife.
What is that? A jar